Welcome to the Jersey Crew Fantasy Football Podcast for the 2025 20th anniversary season of the Jersey Crew, fourth season for the Jersey Crew podcast. We are back for the season, Ben and I, getting chills just talking about it and saying it out loud. How's everything going over there, Ben?
Yeah, same. Wow, it didn't dawn on me until you just said that, and I was like, "Hey, in May we were joking about how we were so early. We're literally right here.
Didn't it feel
It's
like
time."
yesterday?
It really did, and it was like, "This is great. We have so much time left. We're here, man." Like I
Yeah,
just texted you Sunday, being like, "Right, we have 2 Sundays left. That's it."
yeah.
And so now we're down to one. We're on our last Sunday without football until February. It couldn't be better.
Yeah, this is awesome. We're here talking fantasy football, talking the Jersey Crew, our first official episode for the Jersey Crew podcast. We're testing out the YouTube stream as well for the podcast, which I've been doing a bunch this off season and kind of using that for fun. I think right now I'm kind of noticing like the way I'm turning and everything. I'm gonna switch me over there. Yeah, so it kind of looks like I'm looking at you a little bit.
Oh,
Okay.
hey, how's it going?
All right. So yeah, we're going to be on the podcast links. We'll go over that, both Apple and Spotify, as well as our website, like the normal last 3 years.
Yeah.
But we're also going to do this YouTube too. And we're going to try to do it. Maybe not every time, depending on how I look or, how my hair is or something. But yeah, we'll try to do both just for some fun. Like today, we're going to do our number one overall pick for the 2025. Benz is here to do his number one pick overall. And so something like that, we might share, the screen for the player's picture and talk about them. The interesting thing, the cool thing about this overall pick is I don't know what it is. So for I think we did it the last 2 years, we have shared the top three to get some engagement, to get people to listen, but also for people to kind of know and for us to kind of announce and have a conversation about it. This year, we're only doing the top pick, number one overall. But it's Ben's. So we're going to go through what he has done traditionally at number one and number two, just to give us an idea. And then we're going to also talk about his pick this year. So it's very exciting time to talk about the Jersey Crew and fantasy football in general. So yeah, we're back. It's just amazing. So how was your off season? Like we said, we felt like a couple of weeks ago that we talked. That was in May. We did a mock draft. We did a stream as well. What did we do? A best ball draft together. So any other prep or anything that you've been doing this year for the off season before the season starts?
It's just been a fun one. And maybe it's because we started so early. We've been doing this for 4 years now. And in those 3 years in the past, some of the years were like, all right, hey, we had a little bit more time to think about our first episode, or like a little less time to think about it. And
right.
So that's why it's kind of nice today, where it's like I already feel kind of in the groove, and like we really were able to ease into things here, which is so nice.
Yeah.
Because usually it's like, wow, it's September, the season's catching me off guard. Now it's like, okay, we're good to go. And for a special one, you need that.
Yeah.
For a 20th anniversary. So yeah, definitely watch the live stream if you can. It's just kind of fun. Yeah. And you can also, if anybody who listens usually does it on like double speed or 1.5, you can do the same thing on YouTube, right?
Correct.
And just like blitz through it. So it's just a blast, and we would love to get some more guests on and things like that. So lots we can do with this format.
Yeah, exactly. And we just did an interview with the former commissioner, Uncle Buck. So if you have not heard that or saw that, it's again both on YouTube and the podcast links. So check that out. That was awesome. That was a lot of fun. We were waiting on that for a while. Listening back to it after it was done was really funny. Listening to what he said, and he had a couple things to say about all the managers of the league, which was great. Which was unscripted. I mean, I think he scripted it. I think he was thinking about doing that, but we didn't ask him to do that. So
yeah, I had no idea.
It was just classic. It was just really good. So check that out and enjoy. Yeah, this will be a fun year for us trying different things this year. So again, I wanted to mention I also have my World of Fantasy episodes. I do that maybe like once a month or so, just to kind of keep you guys updated. My big thing this past off season, or currently in this off season right now, was 100 best ball drafts. As of today, I'm at 84.
Hey,
so
wow.
16. Yep. And I'm going to get there.
That is doable.
It is doable. So it'll be fun. I'm going to do 99 drafts total, and then that last one I'm going to stream. But my idea is to stream that last draft while going over the exposure of my players for the first 99.
Nice,
We'll
nice,
do it
nice.
like together to be like, all right, where's my exposure
Yeah.
for the 99, and then while drafting my final and 100th best ball draft. So definitely locked in, and it's so
Yeah.
funny. I actually streamed my first one for the year, and looking back on, like, you just don't have any idea what's going on.
Right.
And now it's just like I know exactly what's happening. Really excited to hear who you have picked for number one overall. So yeah, we'll wait until the end of the episode to go over it, but very, very excited about that. All right, so let's talk about it. You're coming off of a win, so very odd. You know, we've had 3 full podcast seasons. The first 2 were just devastating, and then last year a championship. So very polarizing seasons. What do you think about this year? Do you have a target on your back? Are you preparing any different? What does it feel like going into the season as the previous champion?
Unusual and like unexpected in that way. I've said this on, I think, all of our streams so far too, is like I keep having to remind myself that it's the truth. It's just kind of cool though. Like if you look that, you know, the infamous 0-14 year.
Yep.
As like crazy of a feat as that was, to then 2 years later win the whole thing with an under 500 record. I don't know what
6
I'm doing.
6 and 8, literally 6 and 8.
It's crazy. Yeah,
the 8th spot beats number 1 to Champus here, which he is probably just not happy about. I don't remember this. Did you remember it was by 1.1 or 0.08 or something? It was like by 1 point. Do you remember that?
Insane. Yeah, I do, because it was like that's the only way I'm going to do it. And it happened. And then thankfully I was able to take out.
That's what you won by in the first round. Then you go and smash in the second round against Giants and Cowboys with 190 points. And then in the finals against Coyotes, again, smashed with 162 points for the championship after going 6 and 8. So what do you say about, you know, me allowing the top 8 to make the playoffs? Are you happy about that, or?
Yeah, I think so. I think nothing would have been worse if I were one of the 2 first teams out, scoring that many points in the consolation prize.
Yeah, good point.
And it's worth pointing out too that it was a dominant playoff run.
Yeah.
And I really felt strongly, you know, who knows? Am I a better fantasy manager or podcaster? I don't know, but there was something about the way that I felt from the beginning. We went 4-0, me, you, and Q, right? Or no, 3-0. I think it was 4-0. I think the 3 of us started 4-0. Remember, me, you, and Q, and then we did.
That rings a bell. I don't remember exactly, but that rings a bell. That's right.
Yeah,
and then I think you finished the season 0-4, right?
So I lost 6 straight, and then grabbed 2 to get up to 6, and then lost the last 2, I believe. So it was because of that hot start, and I was like, wait, something's just not right. Like these players are this good, and then it finally happened in the championship. But also worth saying that, remember, you would have beaten me had you been in the championship, and you were barely out of it. And I think that's important to note. Like that's how good you were last year. And I dominated in the second and championship, but I wouldn't have if you were there. So everything went right in the playoffs.
It did. That was a fun year. And then on top of everything, the way too early playoff bracket you predicted yourself. So it's like, it's just funny how it's been so accurate. But then, like, during this season, the one season you win, you're like, yeah, I think I'm gonna win, you know, and then you actually win. Like it's just phenomenal. It's such a great year. You know, I'm just want to touch base on it before we move, so not too long on it, but what a great year. That was a lot of fun. The championship winning podcast episode. So that last episode of last year, which was the beginning of this year, like in early January, was just a great episode. We had people call in and leave messages for you. You know, like they follow. A lot of us have followed your you know, awful seasons. And for you to have such a great season and win, it was just like such a cool, surreal moment. So before we move on completely and forget that you even won last year, you know, I just wanted to give you some congratulations and let you know that, you know, that was a big year and that was very exciting. So very, very well deserved. But we also have to move on to the new year as well. So good job with that. That was fun. So back to the question. So do you think like people are going to think of you as a team the previous 2 years where it's like, he's no big deal? Or do you think they're going to look at you differently because you won the championship last year?
I think because I won the championship, it like makes everything worth it. It doesn't, like erase everything. That's the
Right,
tough
right, right.
part is like everyone knows I'm capable of either. And I'm okay with that now rather than it being like, is he even capable of winning?
Yeah, yeah,
Now it's like both, and it's probably a little bit of a target in the sense that they're like hoping for one of a down season.
yeah.
Um, Fantasy football redraft, you have all new players and all new
True.
teams. So there is like it does really go back to zero. However, as we're going to discover later in the podcast when I give my thoughts, and it's important to like approach things the same way from year to year,
True, true.
because then you can not make the same mistakes that I've made in the past with too many waiver moves, right? And like uh I don't know, just some not so smart things. So yeah, more to say on that, but there's some strategies that will be repeated so
Right.
that it can hopefully happen again.
Nice, nice. Good for you. Good for you. So we'll give it up for Ben's, the former and incoming previous championship winner. All right. So before we get into the 2025 changes and go over all the different things that we're doing this year for the 20th anniversary, the last piece I want to go over is the current power rankings post 2024 season. So after Ben's wins, that was his second win, moving him up to number 2 overall with 2 wins, 5 trophies. So you had 1 runner up, 2 third places, and 2 wins. So 5 trophies. Gangrene stays at number 1 overall with 3 wins. And Pack Attack moves down a spot because you surpassed him with 2 wins, a runner-up, and 2 third places as well. 5 trophies as well. So the top 3 is Gangrene, Ben's, and Pack Attack. So how does it feel, being number 2 overall in the power rankings for all 19 years of your playing?
Look, that's like pretty important. And so I'm going to, I don't know, like that's worth something there.
Yeah.
And I think that proves that even through those down years, there was something there, right? The 5 trophies, the 2 actual wins, which for
Yep.
our league is like pretty rare, right? It's only Gangrene, myself, and then Pack Attack. Oh, the top 3,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
And so yeah, it's pretty special after these 20 years somehow sneaking in at number 2. Last year was huge. What a year.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. It made a huge difference. The Champ has 1 win. Uncle Buck has 1 win. The Coyotes has 1 win. Ladies Love G-Man has 1 win. I don't remember Sarah winning. I'm trying to remember that.
I do. The battle.
The Christmas. Yeah. I think she might have been playing Sean or something.
Yeah.
Groovy Q, or maybe in the semis, Groovy Q has a 1 win. And then there's 4 teams that still are looking for their first championship in the Jersey Crew, which is myself, the Godfather, Jet Up, Giants and Cowboys, and Brady Gaga. So we have a good mix. We got Gangrene with 3, you and Pack Attack with 2, a bunch with 1, and then a few with 0. So I'm interested to see, going into this year, what squad can really separate themselves. Is it going to be someone that already won and makes it even, a further discrepancy, or is it going to be someone that hasn't won and makes a big splash for the 20th anniversary championship? So it's very exciting. Some changes. So I want to go over some changes. I want to get some thoughts from you on if you're changing any of your strategy based on these format and settings changes, or if you're just going to keep it normal. So the number one thing that is pretty much the biggest change structurally is going to be winner gets all. Winner takes all. $2,000, winner takes all. So the reason that's such a big difference is because we're traditionally paying a bunch of spots. Division winner for each division. Second place, first place, survivor. So we're paying all these different spots. And instead, this year, we're paying one single spot. Because of that, there's only 6 teams that make playoffs. So the top 2 from the league, now instead of getting paid in dollars, you're basically getting incentivized by getting a bye. So the top 2 will still get buys in the first round of the playoffs. but only 6 make the playoffs, and winner takes all. So what do you think? Is there any changes to your strategy or the way you're playing this year because of the winner takes all, 1 league and 6 make the playoffs?
Not necessarily. Like the first thing that comes to mind is that the week to week kind of desire to win within your division in order to get some of those payouts, like as almost like a consolation, payout, like that does change. And now it just becomes like, not that you're fighting harder in your division weeks than you are in your out of division weeks, but there's every week is just an absolute brawl then. Yeah. And it doesn't, like, you can't rely on, you kind of can't like rest at all in a sense, because you used to be able to be like, okay, at least I'm leading in my division. That's going to actually help me in the playoff run, in the playoff chase. Now it doesn't matter. And it's just so cool. It feels like we're going back, way back into those years where we used to do this. And there's something like more vulnerable about not being able to hide inside the division and being like, okay, if I sneak out 2 division wins, then I might be in a better shape. It's wide open.
Yep. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's no feeling good about, I made the championship, I'm going to get a payout, I'm going to get like some sort of trophy. It's just like, no, you got to go the full way.
Yeah.
There's nothing else. We'll talk about your Survivor.
There'll be a side pot for that. But yeah, just in general, it does change. I mean, you're not as excited. So like 7th place could have been like 3rd in the division. You know what I mean? So like you're like, oh, well, I'm 3rd in the division, but now you're like, I'm 7th place in the league and I'm not even in playoffs.
Right.
So it's like, it just changes the dynamic significantly, in my opinion. 1, because of the no divisions and just the feel of that, but 2, because you actually have to win it all just to get a return on that investment, where you could say, all right, well, at least if I finish first in my division, I just broke even. Now I can kind of, make sure that I try to win the championship, of course, but at least I broke even. You don't have any of that. You can't hide behind any of that. So I agree. I think it's going to be very traditional. It's going to feel, different. And I think it's going to be fun for us to podcast through the year without the divisions, because we're so used to being like, hey, let's look. Now it's just like, let's just look at this league as a whole, and what teams are, on the bottom half, 7 through 12, and what teams are in, the playoff picture 1 through 6. And the bye, I think that means a lot. I mean, think about Joe. If he has a bye last year, maybe he makes it further or wins, or number 2, even 2. Like, hey, if I finish 2nd in the league, I at least get a bye. I don't have to worry about that first round, which is really big when you're not getting paid out for that. It's really good to have a week off that you don't have to worry about. So I'm excited for those changes.
Yeah, right. No, exactly. Like, and I want to be careful this whole year not to keep referring to my championship. Also, I kind of don't care because I want to. But no. This structure, I'm not even in the playoffs last year.
Right, exactly.
If it were like this. So it's like, I started 4-0 and I felt really good. And I was like, every week I lost, I actually felt kind of okay.
Right.
That's not going to be the case this year. It's like, no, you have to keep pedal to the metal, and you cannot put in Carson Steele instead of Kenneth Walker, where he gets you 0.19 and you lose the game. So
yeah, I don't remember that name. Holy moly. So it'll be fun. The other biggest change, other than those 2 things, is we're adding 1 additional bench spot, which is 7 bench spots and 16 total roster spots. We have 9 starting, same quarterback, 2 wide receiver, 2 running back, tight end, 2 flex, and a kicker, and now 7 bench spots. Does that change your strategy at all heading into the season, or your draft strategy for next week?
A little bit. That actually does have a little bit more influence on it, just because those later rounds you're going to be taking some shots on people, and that's pretty exciting. I like that, because as we saw last year, all these rookies just like took the league by storm, right? Now you've got a really great running back draft class who, if you're going to have more bench spots, you don't have to worry about filling it with people who you're like, okay, like Christian Kirk, who's like pretty solid and like gives me a floor, but now you can add a couple more people and just take some shots. And I think that makes the draft more fun.
Yep.
And I think it makes waivers obviously way more competitive, just with 1 more slot, right? Because that's 12 more guys that are off. And think about it. Waivers are like the top 12 guys. That's what it's all about. The top 12 guys on waivers is like who you got. And now they're gone. And so it's going to be a little bit more grueling in that sense too, from week to week, picking up the right guys and putting in those requests. But yeah, I'm looking at just the draft right now thinking, cool, I can really experiment toward the end if I want to with like a no name or somebody who's like, because it's okay. Because then alternatively, you can drop a little bit easier,
right?
Because now you have a total extra guy. Go ahead and drop them if you'd like, and you have a little bit less risk there.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it does change, but just late round draft changes. You know, there's nothing that's going to change for your top 12, 13, 14 picks. But after that, 15 and 16, you can get a little bit more creative.
Yeah.
So I like that too. So that we're going to do that for this year. I won't grow the roster size anymore, but I did want to add one more to heighten the importance of the draft too. So what it does when you add a different or you add a different an additional roster spot is it makes the draft more important. It does change the waivers for in-season claims, but it does make the draft a little bit more important as well, because you have the chance to draft more players to get the players that you want, and then work them out during the season. So I'm excited for that change too. Everything else is staying the same. So still PPR 1 point, still passing touchdowns for quarterbacks 6 points, still continual rolling waivers like we did last year. So everything else stays the same. So that is the 20th anniversary changes for this year. Just to keep in mind, just to set the expectation for next year, the draft order is back to reversed. Okay, so the reverse of this year, we're gonna finish 1 through 12 this year. We're gonna reverse those standings for the draft next year and go back to what we were normally doing. Let's see if there's and the championship ring, of course. So it's going to be a customized ring. I sent it out in the email. That is the exact ring we're going to use. It's going to have the Jersey Crew logo on it. I'll get your name on it once I know the winner. And then I'll send it to you directly to you, and you get to keep it, whoever wins the championship. So I think that's special too. Does that mean anything to you when we talk about the championship ring?
Oh yeah, it actually gets much different when you've got a little piece of hardware in that way, and it just like makes it tangible, which is kind of cool because we're doing all of this on the computer and like just chatting about things, but then it's like that's right there. And I'm sure it's awesome because we got a cool logo and they custom make these things and your name on it. Like that's really special. Yeah. And I don't know, again, like I don't know if it'll set a precedent for our years going forward, but it's like for the 20th anniversary to remember that, especially to look at it and be like, after 20 years, I won on this year. And no, that's really special.
It better be an OG. Better not be no one that just joined 4 years ago.
That would hurt a little bit. Although, hot take, I'm going to say if I don't repeat, I'm going to just call this right now. I'm going to say it's one of the teams who hasn't won yet.
Yeah. I first, you know what? That's so weird you said that. I almost agree. I mean, you did win last year and you won before. So, but yeah, that's interesting.
Something about it.
I somewhat agree. Or Gangrene will just win 4, or something like that. But we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, if the Godfather, Jet Up, Giants and Cowboys, and Brady Gaga, like those are 4 great teams. Like,
yeah, there's definitely one good team out of those. So that's the biggest thing. The 2 more things that I want to talk, 2 more topics that I want to talk about for this year is the draft. So we're going to draft on Monday, Labor Day, which we've done for like the last 3 years or something.
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. It's always that day. Yeah. 8 p.m. But we're going to do it on stream. Like you're looking at now, if you're on YouTube or if you've seen any of the YouTube streams, as many of us in the league as possible. If you have a phone, you can do it. It doesn't have to be on a computer. You don't need, you can do it right with your phone mic and your phone camera. You don't need a whole setup or anything like that we have. So feel free, if you have a computer that has a mic or a laptop that has both, camera and mic, definitely try. And I'll stress that in my email and I'll get the link out and everything. I want to have as many of us as possible. It doesn't have to be for the whole draft. We're doing 1.5 minutes per pick so that we do have a little time to kind of joke around and think about our picks and not, be pressured. So it may take a little bit, max 2 hours, but probably a little bit less, probably 1.5 hours, hour 40. So you don't have to stream or stay on stream for the whole time, but we're going to probably kick it off around 7:30. We'll have people hopefully on during that first couple rounds. And then if you want, you can log off. But really would love to see, 8, 9, 10 of us just all jump on and say something. I'll spotlight us. Like we'll be so small with the visual that I can spotlight some of us and ask some questions and stuff. Just have fun as if it was in person, but of course we'll still be doing it online. So that's something a little bit different. I'll send out information for that. And then the last piece is our Survivor contest. So it's the exact same contest, but I'm making it an option. I really wanted to make the total for the buy-in for the season 170. The reason is it gives us the 2,000 for the winner, and then it gives a little extra, which is $40 for the ring. The ring's a little bit more than that, but I'll take care of the difference. So that's why I made it that. But I also didn't want to make it mandatory for 200 if someone feels more comfortable doing 170. So feel free to opt out. But if you want to be in the Survivor contest, it's going to be the exact same format with as many teams that pay the $30 to be in the contest. Now, let's say we have 10 teams. That's $300 for the side contest for Survivor, which is bigger than we were playing. So it depends on how many teams we get, but it will be based on how many teams sign up for that side contest and pay the extra $30. Does that make sense, Ben?
Yeah, for sure. And I like that. And if you're a fun guy, then you'll do it. But no, it's fine, right? Like it's a nice pressure, extra, especially if like we're all dialed in on the main kind of goal this year. But it's always just fun to do a little something more.
Yeah, I just wanted to make it optional. Let's see, what's 12 if everyone does it, like 360. So I mean, it could be a big pot too. So it could be even bigger than normal. I usually do 200. And so we'll see what happens. But just and I'll stress that again on an email to make sure everyone is aware. But the extra 30 being 200 total will get you in for the league, but also in for the side contest for the Survivor. And again, that's the same format. The first 2 weeks are going to be, the winners of those weeks. The high score will get a immune from week 3, but no eliminations those first 2 weeks. Everything starts on week 3. So just a little bit on that for the side contest.
Yeah.
What else? Let's see. I think we're getting ready for the number 1 pick overall for 2025. Anything else on the changes or the season or the anniversary before we move on?
I was just going to say real quick that I think it's actually in your 5. This is year 5 for you, right?
Year 5.
Commissioner. I think it may be, well, not taking into account year 1 of your commissioning, because you were thrown in pretty like soon,
right?
Pretty late, I should say. I think this is the first, like the year with the least amount of changes, wouldn't you say? Other than the anniversary stuff, like the settings, like no PPR changes, no
true.
Taking away the defense, no like flex, no adding a flex, right? That all is staying like very much the same.
Good
just
point.
adding a bench player, which is a different element, right? There's a different like dynamic there, but I think it's kind of cool. Like we've really settled into a nice spot here. Now, who knows what's going to happen next year? But those of you who are more traditionalists when it comes to this, like it's good. We're staying pretty much where we were at.
I agree. I mean, winner takes all is just a payout,
right?
And
right,
the league and stuff. Those are all. But scoring wise, I don't think I changed anything. Yeah, no, nothing. Right. So scoring wise, nothing. Yeah, I agree. And some of the changes I made felt more traditional to Jersey Crew.
Right.
Bringing us back.
Right.
And the winner takes all is kind of brand new again for the 20th year anniversary. So a lot of cool dynamics going on. And that's, we kind of built this. I mean, we did, honestly, we built it up, and I don't think we realized we were so close to 20 years, maybe 3 years ago. But last year we were like, oh wow, 20th year. Let's start talking about it. And we've been talking about this for almost, it'll be 2 years by the end of this year.
Early on.
We've been talking about this. So really excited. It's time. Tomorrow is 1 week away. So probably when this comes out, when I get this out, but 1 week away from the first game of the year. We also have a Friday night game on the first week,
which is fun.
Then we got Sunday, we got Monday night. So really, really excited. And it all starts tonight with our 2025 draft, literally starting tonight with our first pick overall. So are you ready, Ben? Are you ready to get into our pick?
I'm ready. Okay. Let's go.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read off for the pick. Ben's gonna. I don't know the pick, so I have no idea who it's gonna be. Ben's gonna share his screen to show us the player, and hopefully I'll smoothly announce the player as I read the card as it comes into me, and then we'll give it off to Ben's, and he'll get to choose. Oh, right before this is why I set it up, because I didn't want to go to it yet. We want to go over your top, or I'm sorry, 3 of your 6 top 2 picks have been number 1 picks. Okay, so let me say that better.
Yeah,
You've had 3 number 1 picks and 3 number 2 picks, and I just wanted to go over that real quick before we did this, and just kind of see if there's any theme or anything like that. We've always talked about the the funny one and the one that you get joked on about, but there's also 3 number 1 picks and 3 number 2 picks. So starting back in 2014, number 2 you picked running back LeSean McCoy. In 2015, you had the first overall pick, just like tonight, and you picked Andrew Luck, which is very, very interesting. We were joking with Sean because he picked Eli in the 2nd round, and we were kind of bust. You picked Andrew Luck. Maybe was it his rookie year? Maybe 2nd year or something.
Yeah, maybe early on. Yeah.
And he retired early, probably because you picked him number 1 overall. 2020 was number 1 overall, which turned everybody's world upside down. Was CEH, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, which was funny as a running back. That was hilarious. Unexpected. Yeah. 2021 number 2 overall, Dalvin Cook, another running back. Okay, so 3 running backs so far, and 1 quarterback. 2023. Number 1 overall, CMC, running back. And last year, you had the number 2 pick after CMC went, when Sarah picking him, you went with Bijan Robinson, which is another running back. So out of the top 2 picks that you've had, which is 6 of them, 5 of them have been running backs, and 1 was Andrew Luck. So just wanted to kind of go over that, see if we can find any trends with tonight. See how you feel about those top 2 picks. If you feel comfortable with the first pick, and if you're ready to go for your pick for tonight.
Yeah, if I'm remembering correctly, I want to say the only season that I was successful having one of the top 2 picks was last year. Okay. I definitely don't remember LeSean McCoy taking me to like the playoffs of the championship. I think that's a definite. Andrew Luck, I think, also is a definite. I know CEH is a definite that he did not take me far. And then CMC, now, like, I know our recency bias with him, but like he killed it for me. He was amazing, but my team was terrible. So 5 out of the 6, it's really interesting, right? Because I think when I won my first championship, I was picked like 6 or 7 because we used to get randomized draft order on the night of the draft.
Correct.
We would sign on a half an hour before and find out what pick we had. And I remember desiring the middle picks.
Yeah.
It was like, I want 6, I want 7 because of that consistency. Anyway, it's crazy how certain approach has changed, even though strategy, of all those running backs and didn't change over those years.
True.
And it still just really didn't work.
Yeah. CMC. So that was 23. So that was the 0-14 year.
And he was that was
weird.
Yeah.
Was it?
No.
23. I'm gonna look real quick.
No,
just
CMC was my 6 and 8, whatever that second year was of our podcast.
Ben's 5 and 9. Yeah. Okay.
5 and 9, yeah.
Interesting. This is going to be really, really interesting. So I just wanted to go over those top 2 picks. 2025 number 1 pick overall, because he won the championship last year, finishing number 1 overall. And we are here. We are ready, and it is time. With the first pick in the 2025 Jersey Crew Fantasy Football Draft, Ben selects Bijan Robinson for the 2nd year in a row, running back for the Atlanta Falcons. Bijan Robinson led them to a championship last year and is trying to lead them to another championship this year. Does not go with Ja'Marr Chase. Bijan Robinson off the board at number 1 for Ben's, the previous champion. Tell us a little bit about this pick, Ben.
Oh man, I could talk about this forever. It's tough, right? Because Ja'Marr Chase is like every draft number 1. I mean, sometimes it's different, but there there was nothing like having a consistent running back who is young, who is like exciting, who probably didn't even show all that he could do last year, who now has a better offense, it seems, hopefully like a younger, more exciting quarterback. It just was like I enjoyed every week of him. And remember, the first 5 weeks or something, it was like, wow, Bijan's not even my number one scorer.
Yeah,
He was like 14 points, 15 points. He was that good
Yep.
that it was like too easy for him. He was not even that explosive last year. So maybe he becomes more explosive this year. His team becomes better. He's even more involved. Maybe they stop with all the Tyler Algier nonsense. Like it just, I think he's going to be even better. And I knew I was going running back because I think I mentioned a lot last year, like even after the win, it was like, I love having running backs that I don't have to worry about every week. It just tanks my season if I don't. And so it was my first year ever targeting the same player that I had the year before. And that I think has been my problem, right? Like even in my years of success, it was like, cool, start at 0, get a whole new team. It's like, wait, why? And that's why I always make fun of the elder statesmen who, no, I'm just kidding, but who take the older guys, right? Like who take the Derrick Henrys but they do well. Like every time Sean does that or Joe, or not every time, but it's crazy how it's like, no, yeah, because they're the standouts. They're the ones who are going to repeat and do well. And you're talking about a guy in his third season?
Possibly. Sounds about right. Fourth? Still pretty darn young.
Yeah, that's crazy.
A lot to prove. He's been staying healthy, knock on wood. I'm knocking. He's been staying healthy. Does he have a new offensive coordinator, or they just got rid of Arthur Smith or something? Like something about his scheme. I think he might be used more. Maybe it's a head coach. I forget, but there's some type of change in that part of the team as well. So very, very interesting. Number 2 pick overall, Benz went with Bijan Robinson last year. Number 1 pick overall, Benz goes with Bijan Robinson. So really, really interesting. I like that. Do you like, was it the player? Or was it the position? Like, did you say to yourself, I want Bijan, or was it, I really want a running back? And, right now I think this is the best running back.
I think it was more, I think it was, I want a running back. I could choose from Bijan, Saquon, even like Gibbs wouldn't be that crazy.
No.
And I think that would be it, right? Anybody else would be a little bit nutty, but
wow. So what was what was the conversation you had with yourself about him over Chase, Ja'Marr Chase?
I never liked the running backs, the number 1 running back on my team, right, that I was getting if I went Chase. But I
I got you.
The number 2 running back if I go Bijan, right? Like because then all of a sudden, like I did last year, I went Bijan, I went Devon Achane, and then I went Kenneth Walker. And you're thinking like Kenneth Walker could be a top whatever running back, and he's my number 3.
Yeah.
Then you just have to trust that. And I'm not saying that's exactly what I'm going to do. Nobody knows my strategy. I'm just saying he makes every other running back I take look amazing, because now if they exceed what he does, that's incredible. If they're right under him, that's perfect. It's kind of a strategy that I'm like, I don't know if it's going to fail. I'm not saying I'm going to win every year. It just is like, if I pick correctly in that way, it's really strong. At least it's really like consistent. And then wide receivers are a little bit deeper, I would say, in that way, where you could get like a pretty nice number 1 or number 2 later in the rounds, and quarterback and tight end and whatever. So I just feel very strongly about starting there and not going Chase. And I don't like when Chase is necessarily dependent, or wide receivers as a number 1 pick are dependent on other things happening, right? Like running backs, if the game gets out of hand, they keep going most of the time. Wide receivers, game gets out of hand, they might stop. They might be affected by their quarterback. Think about Tyreek Hill last year with Tua going out, and he just became like nothing. I'm not saying like for the whole draft. I just mean for my number 1 pick. I want him to be totally dependent on just like himself, a little bit of his offensive line, and then hope that they stay in games.
Yeah, and he doesn't have a hawk running back 2 that's trying to take his spot.
Right.
Tyler Algier, works has his role, and Bijan is a good pick at number 1. That's very interesting. So this just in, Jamar Chase goes number 2. No, I mean, you have to imagine.
I would imagine.
I did 84 drafts, and Chase has gone, number 1 probably 80 times. So it's no joke. Not even joking. I've had the number 1 or 2 pick because so many times that I got Chase so many times. Then I started going. I had Saquon Barkley at number 1. I did CeeDee Lamb at number 1. I did Bijan at number 1. So I have those very few at number 1. But every other draft, especially when I'm not drafting, and even when I am, there's 95% of the time Jamar Chase going number 1. So I can see him going number 2. We don't want to speculate. I don't want to get too far into, number 2 and 3 and everything, but if be just, probably just an automatic click in my opinion. And then it's my turn. So very, very interesting. Even just knowing one pick really changed the dynamic for the whole first round.
Yeah, for sure. And you can, you're in a good position where you can start to say like, okay, I know a handful of people who are going to definitely fall to me, right? Like, there's not a lot of variance there. You just named a couple of guys that he could take. If he's wild, he could take CMC, but that after last year, it's just like so risky. And that's why I liked Bijan. I like the lowering the risk as much as possible. Make it like if he stays healthy, which you never know, but if he stays healthy, he's as good as anybody in the whole league. So
pass catching running back as well for a PPR league like us. Full point PPR. It's really, really important to have a pass catching RB as well. So really interesting. I'm going to leave this guy up here to kind of give you a view into our number 1 pick for the Jersey Crew 2025 draft. Benz selects Bijan Robinson. So it all starts tonight.
Let's go.
This comes out, and we'll have 1 week before our first game. In the first week, we're going to probably do a podcast that will come out Wednesday of next week, reviewing the draft and just looking at first week matchups and just a brief, let's get ready before points are put up on the board. And before we get into our records after week 1, we get to look at the draft itself, which we love going over. That'd be actually cool doing it on the stream, Ben, too. We can have the draft in front of us
right
and
there.
We can kind of pick out.
Yeah.
So that'll be nice. And then we'll talk about week 1 as well. So that'll be next week for the podcast and most likely the stream too. So really interesting. So you also stayed on trend with your running backs too. So now you're 6 out of 7 top 2 picks have been running backs. So very interesting.
Yeah, and that's why I was trying not to give it away a couple times.
Yeah.
Right, like, and I was like, maybe I just did, but
well, you've been talking all off season that you might, even towards the end of last season, that you might go with the same players that won you the championship.
Yeah, and at least the same strategy, right? Like, try it out. Of like, don't be afraid of guys who I had last year. Is essentially what I was saying. I think it's probably pretty obvious, but I just think that's one of the things that hasn't changed. I don't know why I went Andrew Luck number 1. I guess it was like he remember he was like really hyped up for a couple of years. It was like, this is the greatest of all time. And
so was he a rushing quarterback too, like kind of in the middle or the beginning of when quarterbacks started rushing a little bit too?
I think
he was a big body that he was, almost doing the tush push before the tush push, like trying to dive over people.
He was just the next Peyton Manning, not just because he played for the Colts. It was like he was that good, and he was, but it just like having a good running back on your team makes fantasy more fun. No question, each year. And so it's cool to see that I like haven't really strayed from that when I've had these early picks. Now, like I pointed out, it hasn't really worked, but maybe because Bijan worked last year, he works again this year. That's what I'm
sweet. This is awesome. This is great. This is going to be fun. The league owners are going to be having a ball with this one. I mean, it's definitely a pick that I've, seen, especially when you want to go running back. I mean, Bijan in the rankings that I'm using personally is number 1. Saquon's number 2, Gibbs is number 3. For wide receiver, Chase is number 1. CeeDee Lamb is number 2. Jefferson's number 3. So like you have all those options. None of them are crazy, but it gives you the ability to set up the structure you want for the first pick, which is, you're essentially going 23 picks in between. for each of your turns. So it sets you up for what you believe will be a successful structure to your team. And I don't mind that at all. Something I'm doing this year is, well, I don't know if I want to say,
I know,
but is similar to running back early. And just approaching it that way. So if you wanted to approach it that way at number one, Bijan's is the top ranked running back and someone that you're comfortable with, that literally won you a championship, was a part of your winning team. So really cool. Very, very, very exciting. I'm getting ready for the season to start. I'm getting ready for the rest of the draft. People, I'm sure, will watch this and they'll have a lot to say during our stream on the draft day. So again, we're going to do that. I'll send out the link. Make sure you join, no matter what you have, computer or phone. Just get on there and we'll talk it up. And I'm excited to see who goes number two. Maybe it isn't Chase, and maybe Chase falls to me. Most likely Chase goes, and I would have to go with somebody else. So very, very interesting to see. So. Oh man, that was good. So I had a couple. Q said that it was going to be unique. Something told me that you might just go with Chase, but Q said you'll never go with the number one overall pick, like the trend for number one pick, and he was right. So
yeah, he called it.
Yeah, he called it. So anything else? Any thoughts or anything that you wanted to talk about before we head out of here?
I guess you can plead the fifth here if you need to. I guess the burning question is kind of like, what if Chase doesn't go? Like you mentioned at the end, is that for you something that you can share? Number one, and number two, is it that easy where it's like, if Chase doesn't go number two, like, okay.
Yes,
I have never
there's a reason in a full point.
No,
never. There's a reason in full point PPR he's ranked number one. I get what you're saying about the teams, if the games get out of hand, but the only thing I disagree about with the wide receiver versus running back is if the game gets out of hand and that the Bengals are down, the team is down, then you're just throwing and you're bombing, most of the time, and the wide receivers actually pick up value in that situation.
That's true. It depends on the level of the
where
team,
the Bengals like. And the defense too. Like how good is your defense? I mean, a lot of teams that I'm betting on this year, I'm betting on the offense because the defense is bad and the shootout potential is high. Yeah. So that's something that I've done quite a bit of, picking teams that I believe have a subpar defense, a high-powered offense, and just slamming those players over and over again. Bengals
seems to work.
Do fit in that category. So
exactly.
Yeah. So oh man, this is good. This is exciting. So awesome. He's off the board. So anybody that wanted Bijan no longer can get Bijan Robinson.
Sorry, Q.
Sorry, Q. He's an Atlanta Falcon fan. Now it all begins. Now the strategy begins, and we'll see who we pick. So thanks for joining. As always, we got done in about 45 minutes or so. So that's good. And we wanted to kind of kick off the year with this news and get some people engaged and watching. And now we have 1 week till the first game. We have less than a week before our draft, and we'll see everybody then. So that'll be fun. That'll be a nice time.
Yeah. Guys, it's here. It's time. Like it's not like there's any time left. This is right now. So for Sean, now is when he remembers that we have a league and that there's a draft coming up. He admitted it. He said it. And
no, this is still too early. He said 30 minutes before the draft. He pulls up lists. I was dying laughing. Hey. Yeah. It's worked.
Great. And it's worked. So wherever you are on the spectrum of preparedness, it's time. We're here. The next time we meet, we will have fully drafted teams, and after that, we've got our first game. It doesn't get better than this. It's the best time. So
completely agree.
Good luck.
Completely agree. So good luck to everyone. Yeah. Well, the next time we'll see you will be draft day. We'll get together. I'll send out the links. And excited to hear what they think about the Bijan pick, which again, it's not crazy, but it is different, and I'm excited for people to talk about that. And good luck in your other drafts for anybody that has other drafts going on. Ben and I are co-managing one league this year. Our draft is over. Pretty good about, nothing crazy. I don't think it's right in the middle. But things can break our way, and I'm excited to see how our team does, and we'll keep everyone updated on that as well.
Yeah.
So enjoy your last week before the season begins, and we'll see everyone on draft day.
Yeah, sounds good.